My name is Jackie Knight, and I'm the Canadian Distributors for MathCanada. Back in the 1989s, wow, long time ago, I started home educating my kids, and I had struggled with math my whole entire life. I hated math. In Math 10, I took the course 2 times, failed it both times, and my dad told me that maybe I should drop math because it would never be my forte. So when I started homeschooling my kids, I was in trouble. My palms used to sweat and my heart would beat anytime I had to do math. And so when I started homeschooling, I started on a hunt for a math program that would teach me how to teach math so that I could teach my children. I stumbled across Math UC from a bunch of women that I knew and in the States, and they had started using it. And so I thought, well, I'll give it a try. So I ordered it up and came to Canada. And within a couple of months, all of a sudden light bulbs started going off in my mind. And it was like, oh, that's all that is? That's how it works? I had no clue. And so Math UC really opened a whole new door for me. And so I was so sold on it. We asked if we could sell it in Canada, and that was in the early 90s. And here we are today. When we started using the program, it was only a US edition. And so we asked Steve if he would be kind enough to write a Canadian version. As you all know, we do have different concepts here that affect Canada. And so he rewrote the program with our outcomes in mind. And so we sell the Canadian edition. Math UC covers from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. And a lot of the times when we go to teach math, the first thing our kids will say is, why do I have to learn this? Well, I think it's important that we give them an answer. And so the reason why we teach math is so that we can solve everyday word problems. And that's the most important thing. And that's really the only reason why we teach math. Every day, from the time I wake up until I go to bed, I'm actually doing math. So the first thing in the morning I open my eyes, I look at my clock, and math begins. And so we use math all day long. It's really important that our children understand math and then apply it to their everyday life in everyday way. Math is a pure science, so we can teach it concretely. And so Math UC, that's exactly the method that they use. They'll teach the concepts concretely and then move to the abstract, which would be in your student book. Also, when you look at math, there's different ways that we can teach. And there's 2 main ways, and there's all sorts of different wordings that we can use or that we maybe hear about teaching math. But really, it breaks down into 2. One is rote memorization, and the other one is conceptual or hands-on kind of learning. Math UC is a blend of both. So most programs you'll run across will have rote. Those will be the worksheets that you have. They're abstract. You'll see the questions on them, and by overdoing it over and over and over, then the child should learn how to get the concept or memorize how the steps are that gets the answer correct. And so that would be a rote memorization type of a program. Conceptual programs would be all the thinking, and like they'll give you lots of creative word problems and those kind of things that would apply to everyday life. Math UC really believes that we need to have both incorporated in our math learning. So Math UC has the rote memorization, but we also have the conceptual learning. The conceptual learning takes place by using the manipulative blocks. So each level and each concept, there's a teacher book and a DVD, a student book, a test booklet, and a digital pack. And so when you're starting to learn or when you're starting to teach a concept, as a teacher, you'll read lesson 1, you'll watch the DVD. Steve Demi will actually show you how to teach the concept concretely to your child. So then you begin to teach them with the blocks. The child will begin to build different concepts and different equations and things, whatever that lesson is on, using the blocks. And then once the child understands how the concept works and why it works that way, then we'll take them to the student workbook. And the student workbook will have questions that apply to the questions or to the concepts that's being explained. There'll be 3 lessons of lesson focus only and 3 lessons of systematic review, because it's really important that with math, we constantly are using it and we constantly review it. So we have that review built right into the program. Once the lesson is completed, then there's a test booklet and the child will do the test for the lesson. Now, a lot of people think 80% might be a great mark. We don't think so, because that would mean that 20% of the concept is missing. If you're building a house and you have your foundation and you have 20% of your foundation that's missing, would you ever build a wall? No, it will never be sturdy. I'd never live in that house. And because math is a pure science, one concept builds on to the next. So what takes place is if we're missing 20% of concept, the next concept that builds onto that will always be missing a piece. So each lesson we're looking for mastery. Mastery is an understanding of how and why the concept works. When you take it to the abstract, the child should get 100% before moving on. Now, sometimes a child might have maybe a problem with or just making a computation error. That's fine. As long as the child understands the steps and can pick up their error, we will still move that child on. But what we're looking for is a complete mastery understanding of the concept. We teach the program from kindergarten to grade 12. Each level comes with a teacher book and the DVD, which would be the teacher set. And then there's a student pack, which is student book and the test booklet. And then we have a digital portion that you can purchase as well. You can buy each of the parts separately, or you can buy them in bundles. Now, our bundles that we've set up, you can have a huge savings. The manipulative blocks that you can buy also can be bought separately, or they can be bought in a bundled package. If you are interested in MathUC and you think that your children might benefit from that, I would highly recommend that you go to our website at MathCanada.ca. At the bottom of the page, you can see a placement place where you can actually take placement exams, or the child can. And then once they've done the placement test, if they get 100% on a level, move them to the next placement test. If they get 100% on that, you move them to the next placement test until they begin to score lowly in that test. Then you know that that would be the level that the child would be working on. And so if you have problems, though, you can always get in touch with us either by phone, which is 888-854-6284. That's 888-854-6284. Or you can email us at orders@mathcanada.ca. We would be more than happy to help you and help you place your child or answer any questions that you might come up with. So go to our website, mathcanada.ca, or email or call us, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks.